It's been a long damn time, but I returned back to the anime Blue Exorcist. And to be honest, at season 2, I stopped giving a damn about the fucking anime, right? I think it's because, season 2 didn't come out until 6 years later. Like what the fuck? Like of course I'm going to look at like the season 2. Like I barely remember season 1. I'm not going to rewatch it. And I just didn't fuck with that much, right? It was cool, right? It was cool, but at the time I was like, all right, cool, this is okay, I guess. I still prefer season 1 over season 2. That's my thing. um then 2024 went ahead and continued the story. So if you weren't reading the manga, you basically had a season every few years, right? However, it looks like they finally got a consistent studio to animate their shit, and the series is now since 2024 and is currently running to now, like 2025. The fifth season is going, in my opinion, kind of strong. This is good, of course, for the author and the story and the animators and so on, right? I've always liked Blue Exorcist as it was an interesting story, a bit edgy, but it hits a spot. It hit the spot when I was a teen because of course, this like the first season came out like in 2011 or some shit when I was just a young fucking lad, right? So of course, them continuing it on for like over the years, it's nice, I guess. I support it, right? um I did not bother watching the first season or the second season because I generally remember most of it. I had to go ahead and brush up on some things regardless, but it's everything that I remember. If you don't know Blue Exorcist, it's about a young man who has been a menace his entire life, but deep down has a good heart because, of course, anime, MC, shonen bullshit. But he was in his rebellious phase during his teens, especially at the start of the anime. His perfect like twin brother was everything he wanted to be, but felt like he could never like achieve that or be that perfect. Then suddenly an attack happened, and Satan appears possessing his adopted dad, and it's revealed that both the twins are his sons, the sons of Satan. Yeah, big edgy shock, right? So now he's entering the world of Exorcist, who his brother was already in because his adopted father brought him in. Yeah, like and now he trains to be an exorcist. Pretty cool. Blue Exorcist, right? um, yeah, like the first season introduces us to the world. Satan, at some point, if I remember right, he possesses Yukio, the perfect brother, opens up a Gehenna gate, causes a whole situation, causing a lot of fucking bullshit, but somehow freed Yukio from Satan's control, and everything went back to normal. Hooray. Right. Of course, it caused a few rifts here and there, and what was his fucking name? The main character, Rin. Yeah, Rin. I forgot his goddamn name for a second. Rin went ahead and he was put on like basically execution, death watch, essentially. But because of his contributions to the whole Satan possessing his brother sort of shit, he was allowed to do stuff again, right? Which is nice. The second season pretty much sends the group to a familiar setting for the three little idiots, guys, for like friends and stuff. Basically, they were like, season 2 was centered at their hometown, where they were sent to find an item that could unleash a great demon, which gets fucking complicated as hell, right? It ends in a fucking marriage, and people make peace that Ren and Yukio are the sons of Satan, who caused the deaths of many of their own people during the Blue Night. Oh. And yeah, like, the Blue Night is a famous night in recent memory of the anime where Satan tried to save Yuri, the boy's mom, but caused a whole bunch of deaths in the midst of trying to find their mom. But the mom died, and the paladin at the time and friend of the mom, the adopted father, Shiro, takes the boys in, which it gets fucking weird. It gets fucking weird later. The more shit is revealed, especially in the in the current season, right? Yeah. So there's much more shit I can say, but I'm not spoiling like 3 fucking seasons like I had to watch to even get this far. I wanted you guys to watch it since it's actually pretty fucking good at this point. Not gonna lie, the season 3, beginning of it, it was a bit shaky, right? But it surprised me with how fucked up it got, and honestly, I'm glad that they started getting into more heavier themes because it made the seasons that much more interesting. Like, like the third season, focusing on a new group against the True Cross Academy, Exorcist, as well as the character origins of that one girl. I forget her name. Yeah, the one that's always fucking mean. Like, we all know the one, right? It's just her origin. It's pretty fucked. Abuse, manipulation, torture, human experimentation. There's a lot of fucking human experimentation that's going to be going on in the next coming seasons. If you started on season 3, boy, human experimentation is going to be a common theme. Like, what the fuck? The fourth season focuses on Shura and her origins, which is, I'm sure a lot of you fucking gooners will love, but like, the last episode was pretty fucked up. Honestly, this entire season was fucked up too, because, it was just fucking weird, right? It was just weird. Forcibly reincarnating the same woman time and time again, just so he can, like, this demon can go ahead and keep her young and beautiful and kept at his side. It's sad, cruel, fucked up, but man, Yukio going through he's going through life-threatening training just to get stronger is fucking nuts. And yeah, it's that season specifically for like a lot of the Shura stuff. It's kind of weird. Some of the flashbacks were kind of weird too. But Yukio, like, the man realized the only way his flames show up is by almost dying, and said fucking bet, and his mental state sort of gets warped by his jealousy, anger, hate to lose, and more mental manipulation that fucks with him heavily throughout the season. Yukio leaves with the Illuminati so he can become stronger. He is obsessed with his origins, and Rin, whose sword broke because Satan took over his body and broke the sword or whatever, now has to deal with the full intensity of his demon heart. Then this causes him to transform into his true demon form, which actually looks pretty damn fucking cool. And now he confronts Mephisto on his origins, where Mephisto controls space and time, to send him into the past to understand his origins and stuff like that. So instead of being told, Mephisto was like, cool, let's make this more interesting. Let me send your dumb ass to the fucking past so you can know what's going on. Which is it's a very Mephisto thing to do, honestly. It's cool. That's the current season right now, season 5, where Rin right now is looking at the origins of his birth, and Yuri and Shiro and essentially the origins of Satan too, right? That's where we're at right now. They do reveal that Shiro, who we've known for like the entire fucking series and see flashbacks and so on, because he's that much of a influential person, was actually created to be a vessel for Azazel, or at least, he was just a clone, right? Like, he was just a sort of like supposed to be like a husk, and that to be experimented on and so on, to be a vessel for Azazel. He said fuck that noise, essentially, and instead of becoming a husk of nothing meant to be experimented on, he dedicated his life to make a better living. Yuri, Yukio's and Rin's mom, was an orphan who, when she stumbled upon Shiro, Exorcist came and took both of them because she could see the fucking the demons and stuff. And, they said, hey, fuck it, let's send her to the asylum and train her to be an exorcist, which is fucked up and crazy, but, that it was the past, essentially, so they did fucked up shit all the time. At the same time, it was also explained that many demons, before getting a body, was just a concept, an idea, an imaginary force, I guess. Especially the stronger ones, it took longer for them to get a body than the weaker ones, but it does go ahead and, like, their bodies do go ahead and sort of like burn out, essentially, and they will go ahead and dissipate and turn back, not essentially to a concept, but I guess they go back to hell, I guess, from my understanding. And when they were a concept, an idea, or whatever, they didn't even have an ego or personality until they would soon develop a body to develop one, right? The very concept that bore the other greater demons like Mephisto and Lucifer, Satan, of course, has finally been able to move and interact more. And, that was when Yuri was a kid and played with her and actually like sort of like enjoyed it. And at some point, Satan, who didn't have an ego yet and all this and that, he was protecting her this entire time. until she confessed to Shiro and began trying to get a body for himself because, he felt some sort of way about that. Um, he does years later get a vessel, and it is like the brother of Shiro, who was like Shiro was like number 4, right, of the vessels. Satan possessed number 5, Goro, where he would cause so much bullshit. The Exorcist said fuck it, and Yuri went ahead and taught him stuff because she was the only way they could like pacify him and keep him in one place, study him, observe him, contain him. But unfortunately, she brought Shiro, who basically was public enemy number 1 for Satan, who had who at this time, let me stress this, had the mentality of a child, and at this point vowed to defeat Shiro. So you know what this sane motherfucker did, right? You know what this sane sumbitch just did, right? He took a man hostage and asked for all the books in the library. Proceeds to read every book and boost his intelligence to a crazy degree, and after that, shit's over. GG's. When Yuri found out and went over to Satan, this motherfucker really just said, "All right, cool, you're here now," and just killed the hostage. Some bitch realized that he is a god, but more closely a demon god, and reveals his name to be Satan, which I'm looking at this like this whole Satan origin story, like what the fuck, right? Because when you're introduced in the series as Satan, there's a certain aura that comes with it, right? And this origin story kind of like, weakened that whole fucking aspect, because like I wasn't expecting Satan to act like a fucking child, but what did I expect when this motherfucker was so foul-mouthed and just a fucking asshole, like anytime he speaks in the series, right? It was just weird, it wasn't like aura farming or none of that, new generation terminology bullshit. But yeah, like, my opinions on Satan himself in the show kind of dwindled because I just didn't fuck with him. Like, just seeing his like, even when he became incredibly intelligent, he was just so fucking childish still, right? It was just weird, right? It was just weird. The episode after that was Satan leaving, doing whatever he pleased, but comes back to the asylum and takes over the underground lab because his body is decaying because he's too goddamn strong. He's too goddamn powerful. It's just like how in 7 Deadly Sins that if you become too strong, you get kicked off the server. You can't be on the normal like mortal plane anymore. You gotta fuck off, right? The Exorcist and his forces would fight bit for bit, but what's fucked up is that most of them don't even know what the fuck is going on or happening in the asylum. They don't even know what the lab is. They don't even know it exists, right? What's fucked is that Mephisto and everybody are actually giving them the supplies because everyone thinks like, oh yeah, we're just waiting them out and not giving them supplies or anything. No, Mephisto and the experimental the lab people are secretly giving them supplies and stuff, but it's not enough. It's not enough. The human experiments and all that shit, they know nothing about all this. Like all the people that weren't involved with the labs or anything like that, they don't know shit. They were just fighting because there's a fucking demon army in the school for fucking reasons, and they got to go ahead and stop it. Eventually, Yuri does go to Satan and tells him that she will be with him, and after deciding to let her die, but seeing her hurt, he changes his mind because he wants her at his side finally, accepts what he truly wants, and, that's where the season 5 is right now. So, yeah. Like, they really aren't making Satan seem like a big old villain. He's more like a big fucking nerd, honestly, right? Like I said before, like it doesn't give much aura when this motherfucker cries every time some shit happens to him that he doesn't like specifically. It always yells that he is a god or he can do whatever he wants. It's big fucking cringe lord edge fantasy bullshit, right? And honestly, what dampers my care for Satan as a character is seeing him more than a fucking nuisance, honestly. Like, even Lucifer, he would just butt her. He was like, if you guys don't go ahead and make me a body right now, I'll blow up the earth. I'll do it. I'll blow up the earth. I'm like, bro, please. You are literally a corpse. Change bodies. Go ahead and just dissipate, please. You just go, please. But yeah, besides that, there are plenty of other, like, tidbits and stuff that's going on. I didn't cover it because it would be too much, right? I can only do maybe like 25 minutes on my fucking software of like me talking bullshit, right? But dear God, does this series still have some good content to it, right? A lot of anime where there's been a hiatus for a while and the story comes back, it just doesn't hit the same. It's not as interesting as the first season. Like, look at the second season. I don't really fuck with the second season, but they continued it on the series like years later, still down the line. And season 3, 4, and 5 are much more interesting than 2, and in many parts more interesting than season 1, which is pretty nice, right? Look at Blood Battle Blockade. It came back and I didn't give a fuck. The second season, I didn't really care. Look at Log Horizon. I stopped caring, I think, like season 2 or 3. I don't really fucking remember, right? Even without a hiatus, like Shield Hero is a big fucking disappointment because all their chips went into the first season and everything else was fucking ass at that point because no one gave a fuck because everything they wanted to see was in the first season, right? However, Blue Exorcist doesn't keep the same energy as the first season or the second season. They go all in with the crazy shit, with the darker themes. Like, sure, I think Rin he's a bit more of a fucking idiot here, but Rin is just a piece of the puzzle of what makes the show so interesting. Even the side characters like Bond and everyone else, I find myself wondering what are they doing instead? How are they going to get stronger? This and that. Like, I actually give a fuck, right? Even the more slice of life portions of the anime are done in a way to help slow down the series so it can hit you a little bit more crazy later on, right? When shit actually hits the fan. I'm honest to God, recommending Blue Exorcist as a primary watch and to keep your sinful eyes on this series because it's actually getting pretty fucking good. Is it a top tier anime? Not to me, honestly, but it's a good anime nonetheless. It's a good series to watch if you like a series that gradually gets more darker and has more of an interesting rabbit hole to go through, right? To see all the crazy shit that all connects together. So far, Blue Exorcist is an 8 out of 10 for me. Who knows how the show will end, but man, is it still fun to watch? And it does surprise me. It does genuinely surprise me. I thought they fucked up with the slight difference in animation style, which can be poor from time to time. Like, yeah, like the animation is not the best, right? Like, especially like in like the background, like some of them can be really fucked up. Like what the fuck? I do wish they had like the budget to give us like longer, more interesting fights or that are actually really interesting to watch. Like, not like it doesn't need to be on the level of fucking Demon Slayer, but I would at least like it to actually, be impactful and be really fucking cool. I think the anime would really benefit to having like incredible fights and choreography and, actual good fighting animation. But yeah, that's just me rambling again about a fucking anime, Blue Exorcist, which I'm honestly surprised that I still fuck with it. And yeah, have you guys been keeping up with it? If you guys are encouraged to do so and, watch it because of this video, let me know in the comments below. I can't speak right now because I'm getting sick. I'm getting kind of sick. So, what are some anime you guys would like me to watch or, would like my opinion on? Again, just voice your opinions and your suggestions or recommendations in the comments below. And thank you so much, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys stay safe. It's getting crazy out there. And you guys please be safe, be healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. See you guys next time. Peace.